Welcome back to the second part of this video, and I would like to say a big thank you for everybody that watched my first video on the ribs and the little trip to Ho Hin. So today I am going to be separating these ribs. This is part of a rack of ribs, and I will be cutting them up and then seasoning them with the roast red pork seasoning mix by Labo, and you can buy this on Amazon. So yeah, let's get down. So what I do is I use my knife and I will trim some yucky bits off of them. Yeah. And then I'll see if there's any nice bits of meat. A little bit now. A bit gristle there. I'd say that's quite nice. And then I find the bone, and all I do is chop down, separating the ribs. I did have to let these sit out of the fridge for a little while, just to let them get soft enough to pull the ribs open. Out of the box there was 6.5 racks of ribs. Well, 6 and a small rack of ribs. I don't know what that is. And then I chopped them into this size, froze the rest, and these, obviously, cooking, I don't like the look of that. That's horrible. Actually, I'm going to chop this bit off of this one. And you've got a nice bit of meat there. That's the gristly bits at the end of the ribs, but I can season them up and chop the meat off of them when they're cooked and use them for chow mein, rice, and maybe even a curry. You can put them in a curry. So that's what you get left with. You get left with nice ribs. Right, here's the lovely rack of ribs. As you can see, they are quite meaty. There's a nice bit of meat on each bit of the rib. You would not get them in a Chinese takeaway with that amount of meat on them. They'd probably trim them right up to there and you'd get about that much. And as I said, these are German meaty ribs, so I don't know the difference, but I know there's a lot of meat on these. Right, this is how I do this. I normally lay them flat, doesn't matter which side down, about 4, and then get me seasoning, which is the roast red pork seasoning mix, and then all I do is just give it a good sprinkle, and then turn them over. It doesn't matter because I do this in stages, like throughout the day I'll come back a couple of times and give them a turn over in the pot and add more seasoning to them. Sometimes Snobby likes a bit of cayenne pepper, and when they're cooking he likes sometimes a sprinkle of honey on top of them. these are a frozen box of ribs, which I have let to defrost, but you can go to your butchers or the local shops and get a fresh rack of ribs and do this. You can also get belly of pork slices, or there is, I don't know if they do it in other parts of the world, but a spare rib but without the bone. It's like a big bit of meat.
What about a chop?
Pork. You can do it with pork chops. Actually, I do this with pork chops when I do when I need extra meat and I haven't got no ribs. I'll get some loin chops and I do season them up and cook them, and then I chop them up when they're cold into slices, really thin slices, and we have them in a curry.
When you do a roast pork curry, and you get that from the Chinese shop, it's always got that red edging on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you buy the pork loin, do you cut it into sections and then marinate it up so you get the different shapes of meat in the curry?
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, with a pork loin, I normally get a joint about that big. It is a chop. I normally chop the end bit off and take the fat off of it, the excess fat. I'll leave a little bit of fat on it because you always have a nice little bit of fat on it, and then I sprinkle it with this and slow cook it in the oven on a low heat for a couple of hours. You could either put them into a air fryer, just slowly cook it, or a slow cooker, and then take it out just before it's like falling apart. Let it have a bit of firmness still in it, and then you can chop it up into all slices, or you can pre-chop it, season it, and cook it that way. You can do it in triangles, you can do it in slices, whatever suits your
You've missed the ends off there, Dusty.
Yeah, I know.
Are you going to do them 2 bits on the plate?
Yep, I will be.
And how far does that one packet go, and how many ribs roughly does that do? Does that do like sort of 10, 12 ribs, that one packet?
Yeah.
So that didn't sound very confident, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 in now.
Okay. Plus them men bits on the end that you cut off.
Yeah.
Which you could then chop up into really tiny pieces and perhaps put in like a special fried rice.
Yeah, I've said that.
Oh,
special
okay.
fried rice, chow mein. Yeah, you can put it in anything. See, but once this soap seeps into the meat, it goes red, and then you always get a bit of excess fluid there, and then you can just like roll it about, and it eventually goes red. It does stain your fingers as well, so
you
don't.
Mean it absorbs it all?
Yes. Right, these are the ribs that I've had soaking for marinating for 36 hours in the fridge. As you can see, they're lovely and red. If you can see the bottom of the thing, there is fluid there. And you can just give it a rack around. I'll push them to the sides. What I normally do is just put them in. You don't have to add any fat to them or nothing. They cook on a slow heat, and they're going to be sealed up with tin foil, so they're steam as well as cook. But I mean, don't wear white when you're doing this, because a tiny bit of this just stains white tops. I've learnt my lesson well. That's the first set. Don't know if I've got enough tops here. And when they're cooking, halfway through cooking, just give them a turn over.
You didn't trim them ones up, did you?
No.
Because we like a full rib, didn't we?
Yeah. And I've done plenty enough for the family because I've had my orders. So, actually, this has got a... It don't matter how crammed the thing is, because they do cook.
And they shrivel a bit as well, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they do. It's funny, things normally shrivel when they're cold, but...
Yeah, but they are big whopping ribs, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. And it's amazing how much, because these were defrosted before I added the season mix, and it's amazing how much fluid does come out of the ribs. I haven't added nothing to it, and then what I do is normally get this and just sprinkle it over the 2 pots. Make a lovely mess. Empty. And then I will show you the end result. So yeah, so they're all ready to be cooked. About hour and 45, 2 hours, low heat in an oven, very slowly. If you can do it slowly, don't cook them fast because they'll just be like shoe leather. But when you cook them slowly, the meat just pulls off. It's just beautiful. Right, well, they've been in the oven for about 2.5 hours on gas mark 150, electric, sorry, 150. And this is the end result. And as I said, they are hot, and you cook them so the meat just falls off. And that is roast red pork seasoning mix. And they're the ribs, a lovely rib. Look at that, all lovely. And that wraps that up. So I'd like to say thank you for watching. Please hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more up and coming videos. And I'd like to say once again thank you to everybody for watching the video. Watch out for more up and coming cooking. Bye for now.